In January 2026, an armored convoy rolled out of the New York Federal Reserve. Inside it, 129 tons of gold, roughly $15 billion, and it belonged to France. This isn't a story about France. It's about the dollars you're holding right now. For 80 years, that gold sat under Manhattan because that was the safest place on Earth to keep it. France just decided it wasn't anymore. And here's the part nobody's saying out loud. France isn't an enemy of the dollar. France is a founding member of the system the dollar built. When your closest friends start quietly moving their money out of your house, that's not a disagreement. That's a warning. You're watching the early minutes of the slowest financial earthquake of your lifetime. Now you might be thinking, gold vaults, central banks, what does this have to do with me? Everything. Because the value of the money in your pocket isn't backed by gold or by law. It's backed by one thing, trust. The global agreement that the dollar is the safest place to store value. That agreement is why your savings hold their worth, why prices stay stable, why your country can borrow. The dollar's power was never really about America. It was about everyone else choosing it. And right now, one by one, they're starting to choose something else. When that trust moves, your savings, your prices, and your purchasing power move with it, whether you were paying attention or not. Because France isn't acting alone. Across 2025 and into 2026, central banks bought more gold than in any year in half a century. Over 1,000 tons the third year running. Not stocks, not bonds, gold. The one asset that doesn't depend on anyone else's promise. Canada announced a $25 billion fund to make its economy less dependent on its neighbor to the south. Country after country has been quietly repatriating gold, pulling it home from foreign vaults, and trading more in their own currencies instead of dollars. Notice the pattern. These aren't rogue states. These are allies, trading partners, the architects of the modern financial order. And they're all making the same quiet bet at the same time. Get your wealth into something no one can freeze and get it somewhere no one else controls. So why now? Why, after 80 years, would the dollar's own friends start backing away? One word, weaponization. For decades, the dollar was just plumbing, neutral pipes the whole world ran money through. But money that flows through your pipes is money you can shut off. And over the last few years, the world watched the United States do exactly that. Freeze reserves, cut nations out of the payment system, turn the dollar from a tool into a weapon. Here's the problem with a weapon. The moment you use it, everyone else asks the same question. What if I'm next? You don't have to be guilty to want to back up. You just have to be paying attention. And so the smartest money on the planet started building exits. Not because the dollar collapsed, but because for the first time, holding it felt like a risk instead of a guarantee. And the numbers tell you how serious this is. Gold didn't drift up, it exploded, climbing past $4,000 an ounce, then $5,500, levels never seen in history. That's not investors chasing a trend. That's nations buying insurance at any price. Meanwhile, look at what they're backing away from. The United States now carries around $39 trillion in debt. Globally, the number is $315 trillion. And nearly 2/3 of it is denominated in dollars. Sit with that. The asset the world is fleeing toward is the one nobody can print. The asset they're quietly fleeing from is the one being printed faster than ever. Money always moves from the promise it stops trusting to the thing it can hold. That migration has already begun. Now here's where I have to be honest with you, because this is where most videos lie. The dollar is not collapsing tomorrow. It still dominates global trade. There is still no real replacement. No other currency big enough, trusted enough, liquid enough to take its throne today. But the BRICS nations are no longer just complaining about the dollar. They're building the alternative. New payment rails, new settlement systems, loans in local currencies, ways to trade that route around the dollar entirely. They're not trying to topple it in a day. They're building the road that makes it optional. And that's the real danger. Empires of money don't end in a crash. They end in a slow leak. 1,000 quiet decisions, each one reasonable, until one day you look up and the thing everyone trusted is just one option among many. So what are we actually watching? Not a headline, a handover. The slow, deliberate transfer of the world's trust out of one system and into a hedge against it. France's gold leaving New York isn't the story, it's the symptom. The story is that the people who understand money best have quietly decided the safest asset in the world isn't safe enough anymore. And when the people with the most information start moving, the people with the least information always find out last. Usually when it's already in the price, when it's already in their grocery bill, when it's already in the value of the savings they thought were untouchable. The question was never, will the dollar fall? The question is, which side of that information gap are you going to be on? Here's what discipline looks like when the ground is moving. It doesn't panic, and it doesn't pretend nothing's happening. It does what the central banks are doing, quietly without drama. It understands that paper promises are only as strong as the trust behind them, so it doesn't keep all of its life inside a single one. It owns things that don't need anyone's permission to hold their value. Real assets, real skills, real ownership. And it pays attention to where the smart money moves, not where the loud money shouts. You can't control whether the dollar keeps its crown. You can control whether you saw it coming. The convoy already left the vault. The only question left is whether you understand what it was carrying. Discipline is understanding the system before the system rewrites the rules on you. New videos every week. Stay disciplined.